Hi, boys and girls. You just listened to a favorite story of mine, Sadie and the Snowman, and it was written by Alan Morgan and illustrated by Brenda Clark. That means that she made the pictures. So today I'm going to give you lots of options on how to extend that story a little bit and make some melting snowmen. Okay, so the first option would be is to what Sadie did is she always added details, but she used food. So if you can think of some food, what could you use for the eyes? What could you use for the nose and the mouth? And maybe some buttons. So think about that, and you could do that activity outside and then keep an eye on it. What happens if you check on it tomorrow? Will everything be there or something missing? Is it smaller than it was? So have a look, and you can try that one. That one is for outside. I have one that you can do inside, and this is a bit more of a science activity, but lots of fun. So I found a mason jar, and I added some details, little snowman face. And what you're going to do is you can gather some snow outside. If you don't have any snow, you can gather some ice. So fill it up to the top. Right to the top. We might have room for one more. If I squeeze it in, maybe not. Woo! Put it right there. So right to the top. And then I want you to have a ruler, and I want you to find some numbers on there. So I'm going to look at centimeters, and if I look, it's at number 10. So what's going to happen is what's going to happen to the ice? What do you think? I want you to keep an eye on it. And if it happens to change, then you can measure it again. Are the numbers going to get less than 10? Or are they going to go more than 10? So I want you to keep an eye on it. And why do you think that's going to happen? If you make a prediction, why is that going to happen? So keep an eye on your melting snowman. Great one to do in your classroom or at your house. I wonder what's going to happen. Here's another idea. So I have some paper here. I have some black paper, white paper, some orange and black, and some buttons. And I'm going to give you some more options because there's so many ways you can make a snowman. So a snowman is usually made up of snowballs. And snowballs, what's the 3D shape for a ball? Sphere. So remember, a sphere is like a blown up circle. So we're going to pretend the air is out and the snowball is flat. So what would that look like? So I'm going to draw something or cut out something that I think that a flattened, melted snowball will look like. I'm going to glue it on. And on my snowman, I had buttons on the middle sphere. So my buttons are now in my puddle. Now, if your snowman has totally melted, you might want to cut a carrot nose, and you might want to cut some eyes, or maybe use buttons, whatever you used for the eyes and the mouth, so you can just cut that out of scrap paper. But guess what? My top of my snowman didn't melt. It melted a little bit. The sphere turned into a cylinder, and it hasn't melted. Guess what? I have some of these marshmallows because we're going to be using these. I used them yesterday with 3D shape, and we're going to be using these for our steam. So I just happen to have one. So this is fun to use for your partially melted snowman head. So what I'm going to use is some markers so I can add some details. So I'm going to put 2 eyes. That's kind of fun. Carrot nose. And big old smile. Here's my snowman head. Because we're talking about 3D shapes, here's a cylinder. And I think this is kind of fun to add to my melting snowman. So if you want a 3D, partially 3D melted snowman, this is a super, super cute activity that you can make too with your little learners. So, oh my goodness, lots of ways that you could make melted snowman. And the fun part is watching the one outside or watching this guy inside. So have fun. I wonder what you're going to use what the details are going to be on your snowman.